Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. Supercomputer Condor Galaxy 3 built by Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's leading technology holding group G42 has partnered with Celebras System, a pioneer in accelerating generative AI, to build the supercomputer Condor Galaxy 3. Condor Galaxy 3 is the third and the most powerful cluster in their series of AI supercomputers, solidifying its position as the world's leader. Condor Galaxy 3 boasts double the processing power of its predecessors, reaching a phenomenal 16 hexaflops of AI computing power. This immense power is achieved through a 64 of Celebras' latest CS3 systems, each featuring the industry's fastest AI chips, the Wafer Scale Engine 3WSE3. Condor Galaxy 3 is slated to be operational in the second half of 2024. Indian Navy has successfully rescued 17 crew members of a hijacked cargo vessel MV Ruin and captured all the 35 pirates from it. Indian Navy said INS Kolkata intercepted the under attack pirate ship, which was sailing almost 2,600 kilometers from Indian shores, and forced it to stop through calibrated actions. The operations, which lasted for about 40 hours, was supported by the Indian warship INS Subhadra, high-altitude long-endurance drones, P-8I maritime patrol aircraft, and Marcos Prahars. Russian President Vladimir Putin has clinched a historical fifth term, securing a landslide victory in the presidential polls. He claimed another 6 years term by getting 87% of the vote with 80% of the precedents counted. Election officials said other candidates languished below 5%. Communist candidate Nikolai Karitinov finished second and newcomer Vladislav Davankov third. This victory has solidified Mr. Putin's position as Russia's longest-serving leader, surpassing Joseph Stalin. Mr. Putin told supporters in a victory speech in Moscow that he would prioritize resolving tasks associated with what he called Russia's military operations in Ukraine and would strengthen the Russian military. Afghanistan has alleged that Pakistan launched overnight air attacks inside Afghanistan in the early hours on Monday. The strikes come after 7 Pakistani troops were killed in an encounter in North Waziristan region of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa on Saturday. According to media reports, tensions flared on Monday between Islamabad and Kabul following the overnight raids. Pakistan has admitted carrying out intelligence-based anti-terrorist operations in Afghanistan. Pakistan said the attack had targeted armed groups hiding out in border regions. Tensions have been rising between Afghanistan and Pakistan since the Taliban retook control of the country in 2021. A bilateral tri-service humanitarian assistance and disaster relief HADR exercise named Tiger Triumph 24 between India and the United States has begun in the eastern seaboard in India. It will continue till 31st of this month. Defense Minister said the exercise is aimed at developing interoperability for conducting HADR operations and refine standard operating procedures to enable rapid and smooth coordination between forces of both countries. Indian Navy ships with integral helicopters and landing crafts, Indian Army personnel and vehicles along with Rapid Action Medical Team will participate in the exercise. The US will be represented by US Navy ships with embarked troops of the US Marine Corps and US Army. Hong Kong's Legislative Council has passed a new national security law this week that expands the government's power to crush dissent. According to media reports, the Safeguarding National Security Law includes new measures on treason, espionage, external interference, state secrets, and sedition. It also grants the government more power to squash dissent, widely seen as the latest step in sweeping political crackdown that was triggered by pro-democracy protests in 2019. The authorities said that the law is necessary for stability. However, critics fear that it will further erode civil liberties. Putin, Zelensky invite PM Modi to Russia, Ukraine after Lok Sabha polls. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky have both invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit their countries after the Lok Sabha elections, reports suggested. The two leaders told Prime Minister that they see India as a peacemaker. Prime Minister Modi had spoken to the warring leaders after Putin won a record fifth time in the recent elections. India builds world's largest renewable energy project. India is constructing what is said to be the world's largest renewable energy project in Run of Kutch. The Khavda Renewable Energy Park will generate 30 gigawatts of clean energy, enough to power nearly 20 million homes, spanning 726 square kilometers, roughly the size of Singapore. This massive park will be visible from the space. The United Nations General Assembly has approved the first resolution on artificial intelligence (AI). The resolution gives global support to the international effort to ensure the powerful new technology benefits all nations, respects human rights, and is safe, secure, and trustworthy. The resolution, sponsored by the United States and co-sponsored by 123 countries, was adopted by consensus, and the resolution has the support of all the 193 United Nations members. The resolution aims to close the digital divide between developed rich countries and the poor developing countries and make sure they are all at the table in discussion on the AI. It also aims to make sure that developing countries have the technology and capabilities to take advantage of AI's benefit, including detecting diseases, predicting floods, helping farmers, and training the next generation of workers. The United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia have entered a new agreement to build Australia's SSN Aus submarines and termed it as a significant milestone in the endeavour of defence cooperation. Under the new trilateral security partnership, Australia's ASC and United Kingdom-based BAE Systems will build the SSN Aus submarines for the Royal Australian Navy. The SSN Aus will be equipped for intelligence, surveillance, undersea warfare, and strike missions, and will provide maximum interoperability among AUKUS partners. AUKUS is a trilateral security partnership designed to create a stronger, more resilient trilateral submarine industrial base, supporting submarine production and maintenance in all the three countries. ISRO conducted second landing test of reusable launch vehicle Pushak. The Indian Air Force and ISRO on Friday successfully tested ISRO's Pushak, an SUV-sized winged vehicle, utilizing the IAF Chinook helicopter for its airlift and subsequent positioning at a predefined altitude. ISRO successfully demonstrated the autonomous landing capabilities of the reusable launch vehicle Pushak, wrote IAF while sharing a video. Pushak was airlifted to an altitude of nearly 15,000 feet. India launches Operation Indrawati to evacuate Indians in Haiti. India began Operations Indrawati to evacuate its nationals from Haiti to the Dominican Republic, as announced by External Affairs Ministry Dr. S. Jaishankar. On Thursday, 21 March, 12 Indians were evacuated and more are expected to follow. The External Affairs Minister also thanked the government of Dominican Republic for assisting in evacuation efforts. Prime Minister Modi becomes first foreign head of the government to receive Bhutan's highest civilian honor. Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the first foreign head of government to receive Bhutan's highest civil honor. The King of Bhutan conferred the Order of the Druk Gyalpo on him. The Order of Druk Gyalpo was instituted as decoration for lifetime achievement and is the pinnacle of honor system in Bhutan, taking precedence over all orders, decoration, and medals. And now for the segment where we see the events that unfolded itself this week back in history. 18th March 2000, election of Chen Shui-bian. On this day in 2000, Chen Shui-bian, a leader of the pro-independence movement that sought statehood from the Republic of China, was elected President of Taiwan, breaking Nationalist Party's 55 years rule. 19th March 2003, Iraq War begins. On this day in 2003, United States President George W. Bush ordered airstrikes on Baghdad, thus launching the Iraq War to oust dictator Saddam Hussein, who was believed wrongly to be manufacturing weapons of mass destruction. 20 March 1995, Aum subway attacked. Top leaders of Aum Shinrin-kyo, Japanese Aum Supreme Truth, a Japanese Buddhist sect founded in 1987 by Ashara Shoko, released nerve gas into a Tokyo subway this day in 1995, killing 12 people and injuring thousands. March 1963, closing of Alcatraz Prison. The United States federal prison on San Francisco Bay Alcatraz Island, which had held some of the most dangerous civilian prisoners including El Capino and Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz, was closed this day in 1963. 22nd March 1765, Stamp Act passed. On this day in 1765, British Parliament passed the Stamp Act, which placed taxes on various printed papers in the colonies. Highly unpopular, the legislation was particularly contentious in America. 23rd March 1806, Lewis and Clark's return trip began. Having completed the first US overland expedition to the Pacific coast, explorer Meriwether Lewis and William Clark this day in 1806 began their return to St. Louis, Missouri, where their journey had begun in May 1804. 24th March 1989, Exxon Valdez Alaskan oil spill. On this day in 1989, oil tanker Exxon Valdez ran aground, spilling some 11 million gallons of oil into Prince William Sound in Alaska and creating the largest oil spill in US history up to that time.
Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.